And I hope Mike Pence comes through for us, I have to tell you. I hope that our great vice president comes through for us. He's a great guy. Of course, if he doesn't come through, I won't like him quite as much. No, Mike is a great guy. He's a wonderful man and a smart man and a man that I like a lot. But he's going to have a lot to say about it. And one thing with him, you're going to get straight shots. He's going to call it straight.
So that was Donald Trump essentially threatening his own Vice President Mike Pence at the Georgia Senate runoff rally for Loeffler and Perdue. The Georgia Senate election is tomorrow, and that will determine the power balance of the Senate, and it's likely Trump's last rally as president, and he's taking time to attack his own VP. Now, the way he words it is like he's praising Pence. Like, oh, Pence is a great guy. I like him a lot. He's going to come through for us and do the right thing on Wednesday. If he doesn't, I guess I won't like him all that much. Ha 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 ha. But he's a straight shooter and I trust him. That's a threat because Trump and many conservatives, without fact, have convinced themselves that Mike Pence has this power to unilaterally decide which electoral college votes get counted from which states. You've seen Charlie Kirk and Republican congresspeople like Louis Gohmert in lawsuits trying to sue to assert that Mike Pence, as the sitting vice president and as the president of the Senate, therefore, has that ability. But in reality, he doesn't. There's no indication that he does. There's no precedent or constitutional indication that Pence has such power. He just doesn't. He presides over the meeting. So he will be the person that basically signs the end of his own time as VP and Trump's time as president, but it's a ceremonial role. Joe Biden held that exact same role 4 years ago. We've talked about this. Joe Biden was the one that presided over the congressional counting of the votes that officially started the Trump-Pence 4-year term. Like, that's what happened. That was Biden. And now we've come full circle, and Biden will be sworn in by Pence, at least in the end of the certification process. But the thing is, so long as people like Trump and people in the right-wing sphere believe that Pence has this power, then he's absolutely trapped. And I don't feel bad for Mike Pence because he's a monster and a ghoul and he's tied his fortunes to Trump's anti-democratic actions, but he literally is in a no-win situation here. He can't do what they want him to do, but if he doesn't do it, which he can't do it, but if he doesn't do what he can't do, they're going to blame him. Trump will blame him. Right-wing media will blame him. All of these people will blame him, and they'll say that Mike Pence sold out Donald Trump. The vice president was aligned with the deep state Democrats all along, and he sold them out. That's what they're going to say. And so Pence is utterly trapped here. Trump is threatening him, demanding he do something that he really can't do. Like, Pence has been coy saying, oh, we'll have our voices heard on the 6th, but what I really think he means is, look, a whole bunch of congressmen and senators are going to object, but ultimately, they're not going to have enough votes. The House is Democratic controlled. I know it's close, but there are more Democrats in the House than Republicans. And there are enough Republicans like Romney and Murkowski and Collins and even some not moderates like Tom Cotton and Mike Lee who have said, look, I'm not supporting this objection. There's not enough votes. Even if Loeffler and Perdue count in and it's 52 Republicans and 48 Democrats, there's at least 3 Republicans, likely many more, that will object. They're not going to have enough votes. Nothing Mike Pence can do will change anything. Again, this is why he's hopping a jet and getting out of the country. I've mentioned it many times now. Mike Pence, no coincidence included, there's no coincidence here, he's leaving the country right after this. For the rest of his term, basically, he's going to be out of the country because he knows that his role in this ceremony is going to be seen by low information and high anger people like Donald Trump as him, signing away the Republican control of the White House. This is what people like Pence have wrought. Awful Republicans, yet people that understand politics, form this awful, evil alliance with people like Trump because they wanted their judges and their tax cuts and their attacks on workers and their attacks on the marginalized. And they got it. They got it for at least the first couple years, especially before, the House flipped. But now they're dealing with the consequences. And Mike Pence wants a political career, and he has an absolutely poison pill choice. If he tries the unthinkable and tries to challenge it, he's going to look like one of history's greatest monsters, and the courts will absolutely slap him down. Yet if he does exactly what his job entails, and what every other VP has done, irrational as it is, he will be seen as a traitor to Donald Trump, and that likely ends his political career. I don't feel bad for Pence, but my goodness, can you imagine how much he's freaking out right now?